At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Up here's where your biggest risks hide: leaks, mold, and expensive damage. Most commercial roofs fail slowly until they fail big. Why rip it off when you can restore it? Our silicone coatings stop leaks, prevent mold, and extend your roof life without the high replacement cost. It's a 30-year watertight roof, energy efficient, leak-free, and half the cost of replacement. And it's backed by GE's manufacturer warranties. Facility managers love this. No disruption, no tear off, and long-term protection for your property. Trust Absolute Restoration for your commercial roof.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, we are officially there. The end of the work week. Friday is in our sights, and we are so excited to get this work week ended and get our weekend started. Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynard, and I hope you've had a fantastic evening soaking up those dry conditions, but staying cool in the process. That's one of the things that we're going to talk about here in the Room to Room Weather Center is that heat that's going to continue to build for our Friday forecast. But the latest edition, the latest headline is the unfortunate timing for Friday's rain, or should I say Friday's storms, because don't turn off. We still need you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. But that latest outlook for Friday storms actually is speeding up just a bit. And what that means for our Friday night football forecast, well, it's not exactly a recipe for success, but we'll have that in full detail here in just a moment. What other impacts from the cold front can be expected? We are under that level 1 severe weather risk, so we are expecting some strong storms possible, but we're also seeing quite the cool down in that extended forecast. And your SEC football forecast going to be a phenomenal forecast for some if you travel to Lexington, Kentucky. But here in North Mississippi, we are tracking some isolated chances of rainfall in that extended forecast. Let's go ahead and get into the first 12. 11 p.m., 74 degrees. Those cooling off overnight and towards tomorrow morning. Starting out the day in the upper 60s. A few locations actually on the milder side. We're talking low 70s for the start temperature of our Friday. Is it hot enough for you yet? Those temperatures just continue to build. Into the afternoon, though, 89 degrees by lunchtime. Really going to be those low 90s by the time we hit that noon hour. So it is going to be another toasty forecast, actually even hotter than what we had today. So buckle up for that forecast and buckle up for that another summer surge. As we know, summer still a ways away from being over. 76 degrees in Caledonia, feels like 77. That dew point still right around 72 degrees. So that moisture continuing to build across North Mississippi, and that's just going to set the scene for that active pattern late in our Friday. Cleveland, 88 degrees right now. 91 degrees feels like values. I mean, my word, can we cool off a little bit? 9 miles an hour coming directly out of the south. So if you needed any reason why it's so warm, well, there you go. I mean, 9 miles an hour blowing in that Gulf moisture and that Gulf heat. I mean, as we know, the further south you go, the hotter it typically is. So not just in Cleveland are we seeing those warm temperatures, but even back there towards Kosciuszko, 75 degrees, but I mean a 13-degree temperature change. I'm sure folks in Itala County are appreciating the fact that they're not sitting at 88 degrees right now. So definitely better in some locations than others, but it really depends on where you're at. But heading into tomorrow's forecast, everyone going to be a victim to the heat once again. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, you might notice that it is currently in what we call clear air mode, meaning that there's nothing in the sky to be concerned about. A lot of that has actually pushed off there towards the north and east. And if you have been keeping up with Thursday night football in the NFL, that's why we have a rain delay right now with the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. So don't worry, I'll try and get done so you guys can get back to the game once that rain delay is over. But actually, this is where you need to be tuned into because we can look at that and figure out how long we have on that rain delay as well. Rainfall totals, I'm going to expand things out because we know none of that happened here in North Mississippi. This, again, over the past 12 hours, and you can see where those rainfall totals happened all across North Carolina, all across eastern Tennessee. And yes, you see it right there towards Philadelphia, a heavy downpour right there on the east side of Pennsylvania. So, I mean, the folks out there, no surprise that they are currently in a weather delay as some of those heaviest downpours have taken place in that general region. I'm going to get back here into North Mississippi because I want to show you how close we were from getting at least one drop of rainfall. Getting the measuring tool right here, I'm going to go on this green blip that we have. I'm going to take it all the way down to Franklin County, 28.2 miles. Oh my word, we need to do more rain dancing and prayers, right? To get some of that rainfall here in North Mississippi. Well, trust me, that will work heading into the extended forecast because tomorrow night, a big time cold front going to be pushing into our area, giving us decent chances of rainfall. Here we get a look at our surface analysis and you see that front receding. Yeah, it juked us out, told us that we were going to get a cold front and then it just completely went away. So that's what we're getting right now. I mentioned for our Philly fans and for our Cowboys fans, I know Mississippi State's pride and joy, Dak Prescott playing right now. And here we get a look at Philadelphia. Some of those thunderstorms just rolling through the region. Looks like we're still getting a little bit of that isolated activity there on the, let's see, is that over there towards Delaware and Maryland? So that continuing to develop just a bit more of that isolated activity, but it looks like it should clear out by around 10:15 or so. So hopefully that game gets back going and we're able to watch a Dak Prescott win. I'm all for it. But let's continue to expand things out, and I'm going to show you what we need to be watching here in North Mississippi. And it is this exciting weather phenomenon happening there in the Midwest. That low pressure center in Minnesota that has this cold front attached to it. That cold front is actually bringing cooler, I'm not going to say cold, we're not in cold weather just yet, but cooler air and of course drier air. I'm just going to put dry so you guys get the message. So as this continues to push more into North Mississippi, of course, all of this air pushing in as well, and we will be looking at a phenomenal forecast in that extended outlook. The only thing is we have quite the hurdle to get over before we can enjoy that forecast, and that is going to be some severe weather potential for our Friday night and into our Saturday morning. So we unfortunately always have something to get over before we can actually enjoy a great forecast. Let's zoom it back in here to North Mississippi, and I'm going to do it on a wider front so you can kind of see that front that's getting closer and closer. Because one of the things that you may notice is that front is speeding up compared to where it was on the latest model run. So this is actually your 0Z run compared to the 18Z run that we had this evening at 6. So 6 a.m. already in northwest Arkansas, continuing to progress closer to Jonesboro and Little Rock by around lunchtime. And you can see some of that prefrontal development that we're watching there towards your Friday afternoon, that getting closer and closer to North Mississippi, heading into our Friday late afternoon, early evening time frame. And you might notice behind me that we have, we just missed the time frame. Caleb, we need to update that. But we're talking about 5, 6, 7 o'clock before we get some of those rain chances moving back into the forecast, isolated in fashion at first, but more widespread overnight. That's one of the things that we're going to be tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center is the latest outlook on that 0Z model run, where those showers are expected to take place. And we have a full breakdown of our entire viewing area of who is expected to get rainfall when. We have all of that coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 10 and the next 60.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. What we're talking about this evening is a level 2 threat for folks out there towards Nashville, Bowling Green, and Lexington, Kentucky. But you might see that level 1 risk indicated by that green, level 1 on our scale, extending all the way into North Mississippi and really all of Arkansas. So an active afternoon and evening expected for our Friday, and that's one of the things that we're tracking here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Looking at Mississippi Live Weather radar, the first front, the front that juked us out, really starting to push up to the Atlantic, and that's why they have those rain delays. Our meteorologist Caleb Edelblut told me behind the scenes that players are back on the fields and hopefully resuming it. You said 10:30?
The players are back on the field now, and the game will resume at 10:30.
Resuming at 10:30. So that's if no more weather delays take place, and we do expect that a lot of that activity carries north and east. So fortunately for Philly fans and Dallas fans and Dak Prescott fans, well, that should look like a good forecast. Here in North Mississippi, dry as can be, but we are watching a lot that's happening out west that is going to be pushing into our area here in the next 24 hours. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, clear as can be. Like I mentioned, this clear air mode indicates that we have no concerns up there in the skies. So a perfect evening to get out and about. And honestly, it was a perfect evening to get out and enjoy these sunsets. Blake in Hamilton, Alabama is sending us this picture. And this is what I love what our meteorologist Caleb Edelblut says about these. He calls these glories whenever that sun shines behind the clouds and starts to show those rays there in some of the tops of the clouds. So shout out to him for the terminology, and I like it, so I'm going to use it. So that's over there in Hamilton. A big thank you to Weather Watcher Blake for submitting that. This one over in Guntown showing some of those wispy clouds up there in the sky. These are what we call cirrus clouds, which basically means that we are not getting any rainfall in that forecast. These are very high up in the sky, so not going to be producing any of that rainfall. Had that all day long, and unfortunately, but fortunately, it was, you know, it's a kind of a give and take. Do you want the rainfall because you also can get stuff done outside, but we also need rainfall? I don't know. I could go on and on with the debate, but I'll let you guys decide. Ben in Corinth submitting this shot of the sunset, and I love when the sun kind of reflects off the bottom of the clouds, showing how deep it is on the horizon or how low it is on the horizon. So a great shot there. So our weather watchers, I mean, you weren't watching rainfall. We were watching the skies for what was a beautiful illustration by God tonight. Just take it all in. And a big thank you to you guys for sending it in here to Mississippi Live Weather. As we take a look outside right now, 8 to 10, 75 degrees, that dew point right around that same value, meaning that we're not going to be cooling off much more than where we're at right now because of that moisture that's in the air, just kind of preventing us from cooling off. Usually if we get those cooler temperatures, it's clear skies, and we don't exactly have that. Greenwood, I do see a few stars up there in the sky, so it is a beautiful forecast. I said that, it looked like it moved. No, I think that is a star. Second opinion?
It looks like it was staying still to me.
I think it was a star. So that was around 86 degrees in Pontotoc. So it is going to be a warmer forecast for some, but all of those do cool off overnight. But we're still looking at a mild start to our Friday morning. Here we get a look at Futurecast overnight, and you do notice that. I mean, we're staying clear as can be overnight, but those winds, especially out west, gusting from the south, bringing in that Gulf moisture as well as that Gulf heat. And that's going to make way for some warmer temperatures on our Friday. Yes, even warmer than where we sat at today for your morning commute. I mean, I said mild forecast, 70 degrees Houston, 71 Starkville and Columbus, 72 towards South Haven, and 73 down around Greenville. So it is going to be above average for our start temperature this time of year, but I mean, what can you expect? That summer surge trying to make its last impacts felt. I say last, don't worry, we're not out of the woods with summer just yet, but we're hopeful that we don't get the 90s too many more times beyond this point. 69 degrees by pickup, 96 by drop-off, so basically flipping these numbers, that's pretty nice. But looking at that forecast, it is going to be a sunny sky for your pickup, but then transitioning to a partly cloudy sky by the afternoon. It's going to be setting the scene for a much busier Friday evening. I hope you guys are ready because we are under that level 1 severe weather threat. Let's get back into Futurecast here to kind of walk through the timing on those showers. Maybe. There we go. So this is a look at your Friday morning. Again, that southerly wind bringing in that Gulf moisture. And there you see kind of setting the scene with that partly cloudy sky by late morning on our Friday. Those clouds continue to build throughout the day. So while we don't expect any rainfall, this will at least limit how high temperatures do get. It's still going to be a hot forecast, but fortunately it would be much hotter without this cloud cover. Those continue to build there towards your 2 and 3 o'clock hour. But you do see the cold front that's over there in Arkansas trending closer and closer to North Mississippi, and watch what happens over this 4, 5, and 6 o'clock range. I'll let it speak for itself. There's some prefrontal activity that's starting to develop on our model runs that does show some inclement weather moving there towards Alcorn and Prentice County and towards Tishomingo County. Now, this is not exactly a recipe for success because it looks like there's some deepening, meaning there's going to be some stronger thunderstorm activity on the prefrontal side of these, and gusty winds and large hail, definitely a large component of that we are watching. Even some cells out there towards Dumas in Arkansas, trending more across the Mississippi River and making way for more activity here in North Mississippi. Now, our time frame earlier, we were talking about 10 o'clock for a lot of of locations. That has now sped up to about 5 o'clock. So it's unfortunate, but still very isolated. So I think we're still going to be getting those football games going for the most part. But we'll track that out here in a moment for that extended forecast of what to expect. This will be the theme for a large part of North Mississippi. We're seeing mid to upper 90s across the region, 97 Greenwood, 96 Grenada, and 96 around Bruce, even 96 all the way towards Union County, and 94 around Iuka. Feels like values taking us over that triple-digit threshold, so it's going to be hot, it's going to be muggy, it's going to be summer. I know it's been a while since we felt summer, but summer will be back in the forecast for our Friday night games, our game of the week. We're going to be trying to dodge the showers as we're going to be in Baldwin tomorrow night watching the Skunk Bowl. But 93 pregame for those tailgates and 84 by halftime, 80 by the final snap. And there you see rain chances on the climb as we head through the rest of our night. 20% by halftime and 30% towards the final snap, becoming a bit more widespread than what was originally anticipated on our earlier model runs, showing that this front is speeding up and the effects of it are going to be even earlier on in that forecast. Your severe weather risk, a level 1 risk for our Friday because of those strong gusty winds and of course some of that possible large hail. Now I did label this 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. as this darkest section up here on the far northwest side of our viewing area, Clarksdale, Senatobia, Holly Springs. Then we track 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. and that's going to be this middle section right here from Cleveland to New Albany to Boonville, all the way towards Iuka. Some isolated activity could reach ahead of time, but that's where we have that 7 to 8 o'clock threshold for that kind of meeting ground between these two colors right here. And then 10 p.m. all the way up until 4 a.m. That's where this main section down there towards Golden Triangle and down south there towards Noxubee County, that's where we're watching some more of that activity trying to progress on through. A really big factor is going to be how models judge that front heading into tomorrow morning, and meteorologist Maggie McCauley walking us through that forecast tomorrow morning with the latest model runs. But this gives a general idea on the movement of that front. Here you see 9 p.m. and I want to emphasize one thing because I did show that graphic that was showing, everyone under a certain time frame. Look at this split, this gap that's developing between these two storms. So this is a lot of prefrontal development. This is actually your front that's starting to develop by 9 p.m. That, of course, extending further into North Mississippi, and by the time it really gets into North Mississippi, becomes pretty much disorganized. This is by midnight on your Saturday. Still seeing some of those heftier cells out ahead of this line. That's the main parts that we're watching for the most inclement weather, at least the strongest storms that will develop. But back behind it, some moderate rainfall taking place, and that's going to be bringing some much needed rainfall to a lot of locations. Now back behind the front, we have another system that's trying to just circulate on in. This will be back behind the front for a lot of locations, but looking at some heavier downpours and even a few thunderstorms that are developing there towards the Hollandale area by 6 a.m. on your Saturday. So this is going to be an overnight threat. And I'm going to stress this at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and stress it right now. Mississippi Live Weather app, Weather Call, different ways to receive alerts. I know it's only a level 1 threat, but that's due to the number of reports that we're expecting. That means that there is potential to have some severe storms possible with this line, so make sure to have ways of receiving alerts before we get into that Friday night forecast, because it can and will wake you up if you set those ringers on to any alerts that are happening in your area. We're not expecting a tornadic threat, but even those damaging wind gusts can be damaging in their own right, and even those large hailstones as well. 9 a.m., a lot of that activity does clear out, and what we're seeing on the back end of this is light to moderate rainfall towards that lunch hour and then extending into the afternoon. We do see those isolated showers linger in the forecast, hopefully clearing out of Starkville by the time we reach that 6 p.m. time frame, because we do need that kickoff in the drier forecast. The only unfortunate part about it, seems like tailgates will be dodging a little bit of that patchy rainfall. High temperatures though, this is a sight to see. After seeing 96 degrees, we're dropping into the upper 70s for our Saturday afternoon. If only Ole Miss was at home, 78 degrees. That is not a bad temperature whatsoever. But 86 down in Starkville, we'll take that for our MSU kickoff and for those tailgates. And those temperatures continue to warm up the further south and east you go due to the effects of the front not being felt just yet. And heat indices show that same trend again, cooler the further north and west you go, and south and east we're seeing warmer temperatures, but again, not nearly how warm we're getting for our Friday afternoon. So here's a look at your SEC football forecast. I said Ole Miss, you needed to be here in North Mississippi to enjoy the temperatures. I lied. Lexington is actually way cooler. Cooler just temperature-wise, not cooler as in Lexington. It's not cool. I'm a big Kentucky hater. I will say it right now for everyone to know. 64 degrees first place, 67 by halftime, and 64 towards the final snap. Dry all the way around, so that's going to be a fantastic game. Hopefully Ole Miss comes away with that victory because, again, Kentucky. Kentucky, Kentucky, Kentucky. That's where I'll leave it. But then we get into Mississippi State, and I cannot wait to see this game against Arizona State. Chances of rainfall really being taken away from the entirety of that forecast. So game day looks good, or game time looks good, should I say. But the tailgates beforehand is where you're going to have to dodge some of those showers. Mississippi Live Weather app gives you all the information you need for those tailgates on your Saturday. And then Alabama versus Louisiana Monroe, a lot of those chances being taken away as well because that front has sped up. So it's getting away even faster, and that's going to take away those isolated rain chances with it. Temperature-wise, still slightly warmer than Starkville, but much more comfortable than where we'll be sitting at this time tomorrow, or should I say 3 p.m. tomorrow. I forgot it's 10 o'clock at night already. So for your Mississippi Live weather forecast, your 7-day forecast, we have upped those rain chances to 30% for your Friday evening. Again, a result of that front speeding up. So we're still expecting that to be an overnight threat. So I still really want to put these rain chances right here, but we're going to be watching those showers and thunderstorms here at the Mississippi Live Weather Studio for any inclement weather, and we'll have all eyes on deck in that extended forecast, even overnight, in case we do need to cut in for any of that inclement weather. Saturday morning, a lot of those showers do clear out, making way for a fantastic SEC Saturday forecast. And then beyond that, drier conditions prevail. So honestly, we need the rainfall heading across this frontal boundary because it's going to be such a dry forecast beyond this point. So hopefully we get that rainfall, but hopefully we stay away from the inclement weather, right? That's the dream. Well, Caleb, I want to make sure, is there anything in chat that people want to know? Because I know this is a busy forecast.
Nope, everyone's ready to start their Friday. Loving the pictures everybody sent in.
Well, sweet.
Appreciating the update.
Well, I expect many more pictures. And speaking of pictures, go to the social media on Facebook and Instagram. Go to Matt Lavhan's page because he has the vote for Band of the Week and Cheer of the Week. And we will be live in Baldwin tomorrow evening for your Mississippi Live Weather Game of the Week. Cannot wait to see you guys out there. And as I said at the start of the week, cannot wait for that amazing concession stand food. I'm excited to see what you got, Baldwin. But it's just going to be such a fun time. And of course, our meteorologist, Caleb Edelblue, handling it down here in the studio. So we're going to have all hands on deck, like I mentioned. And then in that extended forecast, Friday night, we will be right here with you guys if anything were to happen. We'll have more updates coming tomorrow morning at 6:30, 7, and 7:30. You can, of course, tune into that stream using the Mississippi Live Weather app. I told you I was going to emphasize it at the end, and I will. Download it to stay as safe as possible. We'll let you know alerts, even alerts as rainfall, 10 miles away or so, and lightning strikes that are close by. We'll let you know for your home location, and you can, of course, set that anywhere you want to, not just here in North Mississippi, but even if you are traveling up to Lexington for the Ole Miss game. It's a perfect tool to have for all of your weather information, no matter where you are in the country, in the world, shoot, even outer space if you wanted to. But what we'll also have is updates coming up at 6:37 and 7:30 live on the stream that you can tune in on that app that I just showed you. That's going to be with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. It'll be a big time forecast to tune into because she'll be walking through rain chances for your Friday evening. Hopefully that front does slow down and wait on our football games. But of course, we will have the latest information for you then. We'll be back here 5, 6, and 10 for your Mississippi Live Weather Game of the Week and your weekend forecast for those SEC football games. And we cannot wait to see you guys there. We hope you have a fantastic night. And of course, stay weather aware.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lavhan cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lavhan has proven himself trustworthy